Hi everyone. I chose this book, Becoming Bach, by Tom Leonard. Johann Sebastian Bach was born into the Bach family. Being born into the Bach family did not necessarily mean that he was a Bach. In Germany during this era, to be a Bach meant that you were a musician. Johann Sebastian said that there was always music. Music was always being played, and when it was not being played, it was heard in my head. He always wanted to be a Bach. He said that they would take their instruments to the seashore and the hillside, even to picnics they had music. And in these beautiful pictures you can see the soft shapes and the roundness, the happiness and the joy, just from looking at the pictures, how peaceful it looks. Johann Sebastian Bach learned how to play the flute. He was an organist. He could sing, he played the violin, the trumpet, and he learned to play the harpsichord. As a young boy, his mother died, and within 6 months, his father died. Johann Sebastian was sent off to live with his brother, Johann Christoph, and Johann Christoph took charge of teaching Johann Sebastian Bach to learn music. He went to college, and as you can see, the pages all have musical notes on them, and he stated that music made patterns, and patterns made music when you played them. And he was always looking for patterns. Some of the patterns were like the designs on his mother's dress, patterns like ripples on the surface of a river. Some of the patterns showed up in his mind as colors. He said happy sounds, new sounds, quiet sounds, yellow sounds, red sounds, blue sounds, all the sounds in my head. And I just loved the way that this was shown in illustration. And I had never thought of sounds as colors. He needed to make patterns. I love how so many of the pictures were done using music. He saw patterns everywhere that he looked. And then he got his first job as a church organist. And he looked at the stops and the rows and the notes on the page, and he pulled out all of the stops, and he tried all of the pedals on this organ. At one point, he said, "And I produced the largest possible sound, a sound that could be heard for miles. It was a mighty sound. It was a sound that would be heard forever. It was a sound in my head." This picture of the young man over here is the actual author of this book with a Bach t-shirt on. At that point, he said, "It was then that I knew I had become a Bach." Johann Sebastian Bach. I really enjoyed this book. I love music. I love classical music. This is a great book for any young reader who is interested in music. I hope that you enjoyed it as well.